You are now watching Soca Vibez Sports Podcast.
Ready to get it done. She got the wine down to the yard farm. So cock it up and put the red by your knee. Never.
What's going on, Soca Vibez family? This is your boy Mello. Welcome to episode 13 of Soca Vibez Sports. I'm your host Mello. I'm here with my phenomenal co-host JP to my top left, and above me is Starboy, aka Jordan. And we're bringing back another guest. At this point, I ain't gonna lie, fam, you're a family right now, bro. At this point, you are a regular. Just want to welcome our boy DG, man. Welcome back. Welcome to episode 13, fellas, man. How are we doing today?
Man, today, was a nice Saturday. Can't complain. There's a lot of stuff going on. We got Final Four talk. We got UFC fights. We got baseball back. Like, what I'm saying? We just everywhere today. And, of course, we got a couple, community topics for everybody. So let's go ahead and get into it, man. So to start, I have Ruby Rose $5 million dating requirement. Now, this one, I feel like with Ruby, she does a lot of things for attention, man. And I think rightfully so, because she knows how to keep her name in a mill, you know what I'm saying? Where the more they talk about you, man, the more streams and views and clicks and revenue, is going to come your way because, you're trending topic.
Right.
So I think she knows how to work the analytics, you know what I'm saying? So that's just my personal opinion on that. What you got, Starboy?
I just think she's gonna keep it, like you said, like she keep her name in the algorithm. Like she allow herself to go not missing, but she allow herself to go under the radar for a couple months, and she get right back in the algorithm. Like this doesn't make sense at all. Like I mean, she's rich, so I'm not mad at her for saying it, but it's like I'm not even a person that looks into who's people's dating, but I do remember that she was talking to Drewski. Drewski wasn't making $5 million a year. Like he wasn't making that. Like Drewski's he's an up and coming comedian, but he's not to the point where he's making $5 a million a year. No disrespect to him.
I don't know, bro. I think Juicy got a bag, yo, because Buddy got endorsements. You got to remember, he got that Sprite deal. He on Buku commercials now. Right? Yo, yeah, he got.
Oh yeah, now. But what I'm saying is, okay, think about it. She was dating what's that dude? DDG. He was not making no $5 million a year.
Yeah, bro. DDG bringing in them numbers, dog.
Now he's bringing in them numbers. But what I'm saying is, when he first started, you gotta remember, he started streaming and doing all that YouTube stuff a long time ago. So he was making bread. But you gotta remember, at the time, streaming is not what it was then as it is now. So now a majority of the people that are streaming have deals now. Majority of people that are streaming, you see Kai, he got the Nike. Like most people got the deals now. Back then you weren't getting deals. So he was doing YouTube, which you could get a lot of money from, being on YouTube. But I don't think he was making $5 million a year. I could be wrong.
Yeah, trust, bro. Because one thing is when she started dating him, he was already up.
Yeah, no, he was up, yeah.
So yeah, a lot of these people, man, they be everybody's pocket watching, bro, without saying it. Like if you look at all these athletes and all these celebrities, bro, their net worth is on Google. But the crazy part is your net worth doesn't necessarily tell everybody the full amount of your wagers. You know what I'm saying? Just about other accounts, and this is just stuff that's listed. You know what I'm saying? It's given a approximate estimation of whatever this person's worth. So if they say they're approximately worth $10 million, you got to know that behind that $10 million front that you see on the paper, there's got to be more money, you know what I'm saying, behind the scenes. So what's your thoughts on this, DG?
Man, I was watching this the other day in regards to Skip and Shannon. They
Mm,
spoke about it. I seen what they had to say about the whole situation. $5 million, you cancel out 99.9% of men in the whole world. You
mhm.
know, and I know she got a lot of dudes who are not in that percentage in her DM. She probably got dudes who are in that percentage in her DM. So she's canceling out all the other dudes who probably have no chance. But at the same time, all the dudes that you canceling out, the ones you have an opportunity with who do make 5 million, they got other options waiting for them as well. So if you want to do a dude of that caliber, you gotta be ready for what comes with him.
Right.
I'm pretty sure he's not gonna stay loyal just to you if he's making that amount of money. There's a lot of people chasing him. So I feel like that could be her preference, $5 million. But at the same time, she probably at like 1 million, like Drew, like you said, Drewski, DDG. At the time they probably weren't making this much. Probably now that's the case for her. She's expecting 5 million or more based off the dudes that she been with. I heard that she been with Drake before. Top tier guys. Sometimes people once they upgrade, they can't go back down.
Absolutely.
Yes,
So all the
right.
like so all the dudes that she been dealing with, more, 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 more. I don't know how much more you can get from that point, but look, that standard of $5 million, that goes to show you like she been with a lot of dudes on a high level, and once a dude sees a female that they can afford, they don't mind shooting their shot with a female like Ruby Rose. So I mean, if that's what she wants, she gotta be ready with what comes with that type of lifestyle, being with a dude of that caliber. I know she got a lot of her going on with, I don't know what she's sponsored by Prospects too. I be seeing her
Mhm.
on the app sometime.
Yeah.
Yes.
So
Yep.
So Drewski probably threw that lob. You know, it's not about. Sometimes people get with people for what they can gain out of a
Mhm.
situation. So I think maybe she might be an expensive net.
she is. I mean, she got no experience with sports. I never seen her play soccer,
I mean,
basketball.
well, I said she definitely pull up to like a couple Wizards game, just to look cute. You know what I mean?
But we all know why she probably at a
Mm-hmm.
basketball game.
Yeah,
She's probably messing with one of the guys
That's
that's
Jordan
playing.
Poole right there.
Talent. That's
Jordan
what she's
Poole,
doing.
right?
Jordan Poole right there, man.
Now she's
You
scoping
know,
talent, man. Got to scope the talent.
But
Man.
how I view the situation, I'm not gonna lie to y'all boys. So you see how y'all boys looking at it from one end. So
Mhm.
this is my end of it. I just feel like it's gonna cause more unrealistic expectations with other
Mhm.
females. So you see, like, I bet you, like, probably her fan base probably look like, yeah, big, like 5 million, and watch, you're gonna have like other females, that are, very high standards or whatnot. Their expectations are gonna be like, oh yeah, if you don't bring at least 5 million or better, I don't want you, or I say quote unquote considered broke. So that's what I feel is it's going to happen right now. A lot of unrealistic expectations is about to
Mhm.
appear.
Because even the Nets, they not even trying to eat at Root Chris no more, bro.
Yeah.
They they on some. They like, hey, I need something more. Before, bro, if you think about it, hibachi used to be like a thing, like a big
Yeah.
thing, where you could eat hibachi and go to the little grill, and then they put the little fire in the volcano, and she's like, oh my gosh, I'm like, losing her mind. Now hibachi is like
that's
that's
it.
That's an
yeah,
afterthought. That's
yeah,
an
yeah.
after.
That's you do on a Tuesday, like,
Yeah.
so man, this the world we living in, man. This welcome to the real world.
Yeah.
To transition, Sanders boys draft position. This one right here, I feel like I've been seeing some stuff, and people start pointing out some tendencies, and what they notice is that he got a little hitch in his throw where he passed the ball. He passed the ball, and when he keep on patting the ball, you know what I'm saying, he's gonna release it, but that safety is already picking up to tendencies, and he hasn't even made it into the league yet.
You're right.
So that just lets you know the level of competition that he's going to be going against. You know what I'm saying? Where they like, hey, bro, you all the ring flashing, the flashy. Oh, this is my dad. You
Right.
got to come find out what it's really about. You know what I'm saying? Because I think one of the safeties, Cisco on the Jacksonville Jaguars, had
The Jets. The Jets. Get it right.
oh,
The
oh,
Jets. The
oh,
Jets.
now he's a Jet. Now he's a Jet. Okay, so now they paying attention to that. So
Um, you know, I have
This old lady going crazy.
right. You heard her.
Uh,
No, but between the two brothers, man, I've always thought Shador was always a better athlete, or I say better football player. I just think Shallow trying to follow his father footsteps, just trying to follow his footsteps too much, trying to, I guess be that best DB. But even when he ran his pro day 40, it wasn't that too impressive. And also too, even like there were games like when he was at Colorado, he was not too impressive. He was pretty inconsistent for the most part. Don't get me wrong, like he has some flashes where like he made some plays, but I don't think that he will ever live up to that expectation like his father.
so
And
Melo,
yeah,
where you got him? Where you got him projected in this draft?
I'll be honest with you, and this is not me trying to be funny. I'll say the earliest 6, at worst, undrafted.
Okay. Okay.
I'm not being disrespectful. Like, this is what I've seen. This is what I noticed. I'm just like, bro, he's really. I'm not saying he's terrible, but he's not he's not that good either. I may be wrong. If you guys have a counter for me, y'all boys let me know.
I got a counter for you.
Yeah.
So what I do notice is, yes, he's not as athletically gifted as his father, but I think he is a very smart player, and I think he's been coached by the best. So in certain situations, if you have a smart DB, I'll take a smart DB over like athletically gifted DB, because we all seen that guy who could run fast, jump high, but he's not aware of like distance and downs, or like he gets a little too handsy. You know what I'm saying? So I think as long as he could play his role, and you know what I'm saying, always be at the right place at the right time, the ball will find you, as well as like he'll always have an opportunity to make plays on the ball. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So I was thinking maybe 5th round,
Sure.
but you said 6, so I can see how that can go. And if he does go undrafted, but I think you know what it is. You know how we got the Bronny and LeBron situation. I
Right.
think Dion got that much pull to where he's gonna get drafted.
Mm.
You know, it's just, you might not be getting no Starks out of Georgia, or one rangy corners safeties, but I think he'll be a quality rotational piece in the NFL, and I think he need maybe like a year or two to develop, because he did cut down on that 40 time when he ran a bad 40 time the first time. He cut down on it a little bit, so he was almost to that 4.4 range. So that's just my pushback on it.
What about you, DG?
Oh yeah, what's going on with y'all? What's your opinion?
On the Sander boys, I feel like with Shador, I'm actually going to live stream this later on my page, on my YouTube, reacting to like the 40s and the pro day, the videos that came out. So I seen some clips of it, not the full thing yet, but I feel like with Shador Sanders, it's the NFL is kind of telling you what they feel about him. The Giants, they went and got Russell Wilson. They went and got Jameis Winston. The only thing that didn't make a move yet is the Browns. They only got Kenny Pickett. But I don't think Shador Sanders is worth that 2nd overall pick. So I think that with that 2nd overall pick, it could be Travis Hunter. I seen Travis Hunter talking to the Browns a lot at the pro day. So it seems like real interesting that, that they may pick Travis Hunter over Shador Sanders. And that's going to lead him to fall in this draft. Raiders, they went and got Geno Smith instead of going all in on Shador Sanders. Obviously, they're not high enough on him to start off right away for any NFL team. You know, he probably gonna have to sit on the bench for any other team other than the Browns or the Saints. So I feel like it's either the Browns or the Saints for Shador Sanders at this current moment in the first round. You know, but I feel more likely that Travis Hunter will be that second overall pick to the Browns, and that'll probably be the case with that. With Shiloh, um, I don't know. I feel like the NFL views him as a special team guy. They don't really view him as a guy who's gonna come in and start. So that's why he probably around the 5th to the 6th round range. You know, in that range, you're not looking for starters. You're looking for backup players who could turn into starters. You know, but even with Shiloh, like I don't see him coming into the NFL being a top 10 safety, top 15. He could probably be like a top 20.
Right.
You know, that's why I view him as, you know, I haven't seen anything up to this point to show me something different. Like if he came into the pro day, ran a 4.4, like you said, that would have helped him. I don't know what his vertical was. I gotta look into that. You know, if he had a high vertical, that would have helped him. You know, but based off his tape, that's what he needed. He needed to show good times on the 40, a good shuttle, so it could, you know, make an NFL team think like, okay, we had a DB come out previously with the same accolades, you know, the same 40, the same vertical, and we know that this could probably work if we do the right things. But you know, Shiloh, he not too big. He like 6 foot, 190, 195. You know, so he's not blessed with like big size. You know,
Right.
you wish he had that, but Dion is his dad. You know, but Dion, he's way more athletic than his boys. I don't know what happened. You know, when they were born, you know, I thought no boys gonna come out running 4.2s off rip. That's what I thought, but they're not like that. They're not. So, I kind of feel bad for Dion, man. I thought his boys would be better, but they're good enough. They're good enough. Sanders, yeah, Shador Sanders just depends on what team he go to. And shot, I think for both of them, it depends on what team they go to. You know, maybe they go to the same team. Maybe the Browns pick up another Sanders later in the round. They pick up Shador in the first round. That could happen. That would be a good situation. But I don't think Dion going to the Browns to go coach the boys over there at.
Nah, he just got a deal.
Yeah, big extension. 5 years for 87 mil. If I'm not mistaken.
He got that bag. I remember. I think I seen that before. So on top of that, you seen what the Cowboys did. I know Dion said on like a little interview with, I forgot his name, Skip. Yeah, he had an interview with Skip, and he told him the only way that he'll go to the NFL to coach is if he's coaching both of his boys. That's the only way.
Right.
But Cowboys, look what they did. They went and got Joe Milton to put behind, you know, Dak Prescott.
That was actually a good move to me.
Mm-hmm.
That was a good move. I got a question. I got a question for Starboy. And this question is kind of like off of DG's question. So, like he was saying that he feels like they're all right. You know what I'm saying? They're good enough to make it to the NFL, but you know he thought he had more expectations on them. How much do you feel like some of those expectations are overviewed due to the fact that like when you sleep with a woman, you know you got to count her genetics into play as well. And I don't think all of them have the same mom because he got like 4 sons, 4 or 5 kids. I think. So you know everybody got a different genetic makeup minus the 2. So like, how much do you think that comes into play?
It comes into play a lot. It comes in as everything. Because you thinking about like both sides, like you thinking like just like DG said, he thought that when they came out the womb they'll be running 4.2. But because you got to think about it, like you think about the resources that Dion has, they have way better resources. That the coaches are better, the strength and conditioning can better, the QB coaches are better, the DB coaches are better. Who is the best DB coach to coach him? His dad.
Right.
And yet he's slower. He's not as his IQ. He's a smart DB, but he's not time. He's not Dion. So you look at certain things and it's like, yeah, I think Shiloh and Shador have the same mom. I think so.
They have the same mom. Yep. Same
Exactly. But if you look at his mom, like she doesn't look athletic. Now I don't know her genetic makeup or background or if she played sports or not, but I don't believe she was like uh track star. Because like when Dion, like if you take the difference between like when if you know you guys know Chad Ochocinco, he go after athletic women, women that play some type of sport. But if you look at Dion, like the girls that he be into, and I'm not really like trying to into another man's business, but it's more so, BBL, those type of things, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
So you get what I'm saying? But the whole situation is I believe Shador going top five. He going top five. He has
Okay.
to. He
Okay.
going because if you look at all right, yeah, like everything all of you guys are saying is true. But if you look at the Giants situation, Russell Wilson is on what his third or fourth team in the last 3 or 4 years.
Yeah. Very
They
true.
only signed him to 1 year. Jameis Winston is Jameis Winston. He gonna give you highs. He gonna give you a lot of lows. It is what it is. He gonna have some good games. He gonna have some bad games. So if you're the Giants, you don't have. Yeah, you pick those two, and yeah, Shador might not be ready, which is fine. But you look at it and you say, okay, you take those two, and you don't have a long-term solution because Jameis Winston is not your franchise quarterback for the next 10 years. You're not.
You're
You're
right.
already messed up. You giving Daniel Jones that money instead of paying Saquon. You messed up.
Yeah, that was the stupidest thing. That was
Exactly.
stupid.
So you already messed up. You already done put your franchise in the hole. You still have Brian Daboll, which is a good coach.
Mhm.
You still have him, and then you should sign Shador. Now he should sit because even Tom Brady said that QB starting in their first year should not be the thing. It should not be the normal.
Right.
They should be sitting
Right.
behind somebody and gaining some type of knowledge. It
Right.
doesn't matter.
You
It
know
doesn't.
what?
Go ahead.
You just reminded me of something. The best organizations usually sit their quarterbacks. Like look at Green Bay.
Green Bay.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Green Bay,
Rodgers.
Mm-hmm.
they know how to put they quarterbacks in the incubator and produce. You know what I'm saying? Because sometimes yes, we get valuable reps, but sometimes you have to see different defenses to then adjust and make that a proper adjustment. So yeah, you wanted something right now.
Because Jordan Love was not looking like that when he was sitting behind when Aaron Rodgers had got hurt and they played him against the Chiefs. He was
Right.
not looking like that. There were questions before Aaron Rodgers, left Green Bay. There were questions that first year Jordan Love was going to be the starter of how good he would be. And when I seen him throwing, I said, "Yo, this boy look exactly like Aaron Rodgers. He looked exactly like him. The
Just
same
more
thing
mobile.
with Patrick Mahomes, right behind Alex Smith. They
Exactly.
started him in the Denver Broncos game. Even players from Denver was like, "Oh yeah, he gonna be the starter next year." He really liked that. He gonna be the starter next year. And then you look at the Brown situation. The GM just said that the Deshaun Watson deal was like one of the
The
worst things
worst.
he did.
Terrible.
I believe this. You cannot just throw a quarterback into the fire, bro. You can't do
Exactly.
that because you don't know what your offensive line is capable of. Let's say you got a quarterback who like Caleb Williams, who likes to dance around back there in the backfield and improvise. If you put Caleb Williams on like a team with a bad offensive line, what do you expect him to do?
Mm-hmm.
Terrible.
That's not his style of play. So I
Mm-hmm.
feel like first year you draft your quarterback, second year you bolster up your offensive line, and then third year that's when you try to get the receivers, put the pieces together.
Yeah. I ain't gonna lie, GM. Yeah,
Come on
what you
now.
just did right there, you was cooking. You
But
went step by step with that.
let me counter on this right here.
Oh,
I know you
Let
about
me
to
what's
say
counter
happening?
on this. So like I understand what you guys saying about Jordan Love, Patrick Mahomes, so on and so forth. But you see what they got brought into. The Chiefs, they had Alex Smith, Andy Reid.
mm-hmm.
Alex Smith, he's not there because Patrick Mahomes showed that he's good enough.
Mm-hmm.
Jordan Love, Aaron Rodgers, he's not there because Jordan Love showed that
Mm-hmm.
Aaron
He's good.
Rodgers not good enough no more. But they still got the same coach.
Mm-hmm.
The thing with the Giants, their head coach, I think he's on a hot seat right now.
He is. Yep.
Like I said, he ain't signed one quarterback. If he signed one quarterback, I'd be like, okay, they probably will get Shador Sanders. But since they signed two quarterbacks, I'm over here thinking like maybe they're not really,
Optimistic.
too sure about Shador Sanders, and they're willing to just go with Travis Hunter. to double up because they're on the hot seat. They need to win this year or they all out of there. And, you know, I don't want to put Shador in that situation as to where, boom, first year your head coach is fired because they gave it a shot. You know, like if you getting Shador Sanders, you're getting him for the future, but you don't even know how long you're gonna be here in the future with what you got right now. So that's why I feel like Giants, they do need a quarterback, but based off their moves, is showing that they're not really into Shador Sanders like that. So Browns, it makes more sense, you know, but you look at that division and the quarterbacks that are already in that division. You know, I'm pretty sure Aaron Rodgers, he's a Pittsburgh Steeler. I'm pretty sure about that.
Oh no. I think he signed last night with or night before with the Vikings already, bro.
He did?
You lie. I hear that, bro.
Right.
Look that up. I don't. Yeah,
you know, April Fools was a couple of days ago, bro.
Oh, yeah. Look that up. Look that up, bro. Look that up.
I don't know. But like Bengals,
that might be my source. I can't, you know, can't double down on the source.
Right.
Look that up right there. Because April Fools was the other day. I was like, oh, he hasn't.
I don't see nothing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that would have hit ESPN, wouldn't it?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that would have hit ESPN.
Yeah, it would have hit
ESPN. Adam Schefter would have been the first person to say something, though.
Breaking news from JP, man.
He currently looking. They're saying that there's some like, you know, contract stuff that they're still working on, but it seems like he's gonna be a Steeler. So automatically, the Browns, they're gonna enter in next season with the worst quarterback in their division off rip. So I don't know how that's gonna work. You know, like all the situations, you know, like I said, it's good that Shador could go somewhere and sit out and let a starter get the reps first. But I don't know, man. It's kind of dim in regards to what team, you know. I could be wrong. Browns could just get Shador Sanders and hope that maybe him being Deion Sanders' son could have that fire up under him to perform out there and not embarrass the Sanders. You know, that could be the case. You know, I'm not saying that Shador Sanders going to be bad, but, you know, based off history and what we see from elite quarterbacks who make it into the NFL and be great, you know, we're not seeing a lot of that from Shador Sanders. And a lot of NFL teams are showing you based off what they did in free agency in regards to what they're willing to do. I think a lot of NFL teams are just waiting for next year. And that's why all these quarterbacks getting signed, you know, like I told y'all, Joe Milton, Russell Wilson, Jameis Winston, you know, Aaron Rodgers, he on the way, you know, whatchamacallit, Vikings, they gonna stick it out with JJ McCarthy. Like, what other quarterback needy teams do you know that could get Shador Sanders? There's only like 5 or 6. Every other team is just like, we don't have to get you in the first round.
Right.
That's true. That's true. But he's on in the first.
I have a hot take. So this is my hot take. I think that the Browns go after Travis Hunter, and I think that the Browns will trade with another team and pick up Shador late in the first round.
No. If they get, I don't think Shador's not gonna be there that late, bro. I don't think he's gonna be there that late. I don't think he's dropping. He can't drop past 10.
Dang.
Because if he drop past 10, bro, I would be screaming, bro. That means, you know, my beloved Dolphins will have the opportunity to really look at, you know what I'm saying, what they want to do as far as like Tua, and that'll change our whole draft board. That would change everybody's whole draft board right there. Because I've been looking at so many mock drafts, and you know, I've been seeing Mel Kiper. I've seen him do about 4 or 5 of them. I've been looking at a lot of them. And
let me say this: like with Shador Sanders, like quarterbacks like him, you don't really see those quarterbacks fall out of the first round because teams usually want that 5th-year option for quarterbacks. They want 5 years to see if he's going to be the guy. So same thing happened with Lamar Jackson a few years ago. 31 teams passed up on him. When he got to 32, Baltimore came in, boom, traded up to the first round, got him. Oh, we need that 5th year. We need that right there. So
Right.
same thing with Shador. If we do see him fall later, just know somebody gonna come and trade up and get him.
I think it's no later than 10 to 15, bro, if any. Now,
Yes.
the transition, we got the Final Four talk right here. Now we got DG's beloved Gators in there, and we kind of all know who we siding with in a sense. I don't know about you though, Starboy, because you over there quiet assassin. Who you got winning the Final Four, man?
I'm going with Duke, man.
Duke.
Duke all day, man.
Hey.
Duke all day. I'm not a Duke fan, but gotta go with Duke, man.
Well, Cooper Flag is that's the
No,
end all.
He's him. Okay, he's him.
I don't see. For me, I don't know, bro. I think Cooper Flag has been hyped. I think he's good, but I think he's been hyped, man.
You know, he was with the Olympic team, right?
Yeah.
Are you aware that he led his team in points this year, right? As a freshman.
I get all of that. But, a lot of people can do things in college. I'm just curious to see, how does his game transition to the NBA, and would he be considered like a Pascal Siakam type, or would he be like a little more dynamic, or like where does he fall? Would he be like a Obi Toppin? Like what is his like ceiling? Because I feel like they're gonna thrust him into some playing time, as a rookie, but
3 or 4.
I don't know, bro. I'm not sold yet, bro. He hasn't shown when I watch his game, he doesn't jump off the screen to me like Paulo Banchero did. That's essentially the same position, right? PF, right? Power forward. So if y'all got him, what I'm saying, coming in, right, and you compare him to Paulo Banchero at that time, I still don't. I don't know. Paulo gave me a feeling like, oh shoot, this could be the next Melo. But he's even bigger than Melo. He's 6'10", dribbling the ball and all that extra stuff. He drop it 30 every other night. Like,
I think he's better.
Do you think he's better than Paulo?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Oh God.
I think he's better.
Yeah, I think so.
And the reason I think he's better is because, like, yeah, I get what you're saying, like, but the when he played in the Olympic Games, as far as in like to the team practice, the scrimmages, and Vegas, you cannot, like, him going against LeBron, Steph, KD, and like these are people that are at the top of their position. Jokic, like, not Jokic, my bad, sorry, but you talking people at the top of their position. Embiid, all those people there. AD, he's banging against the 4s and the 5s. So he's banging the only other foreign big that you would compare him to is not that many good bigs.
He doesn't have a point.
Let me ask you this.
Go ahead.
You don't think that Paulo has gotten an NBA run before he was in the NBA?
I'm not saying he didn't get an NBA run, but NBA run and Olympic run is two different things. And the NBA runs, everybody doing their own thing in the NBA run. Nobody, yes, they're like people be on similar teams, but people just trying to get that workout in. They, like, you're not gonna have that type of talent pool in the NBA run. You've never seen LeBron and Steph really in an offseason run together. You've never really seen them. LeBron, Steph, and KD, you've never seen them all together in the offseason working out together all in a run. And AD, all of them together in the Olympic run. Even though Kawhi, he left, all of them were there. So he's playing against some of the best that ever did it. Yeah, they're old, but you see, for example, LeBron's old, but he's still averaging over 20. Steph still averaging over 20. KD still averaging over 20. Like, these are some of the best talent that the NBA has ever had. And
now check this out.
One of the boys in practice.
Check this out. So Paulo Banchero, right?
Mm-hmm.
Also got that same run as Cooper Flag on the Olympic team.
Mm-hmm.
So,
but the Olympic team wasn't that good. The Olympic team this year was better than the Olympic team in 2020.
I get that, but if we put the numbers together, I don't think that's a comparison right there. because
Mhm.
one guy is they're both in stature, they're both big, but Paulo is a more physical guy,
Yeah, more thick.
stronger. He has more handles. I
Mhm.
think he can extend his game a little bit more. I see Cooper Flag being more so on the block, down low in that mid range area. So I say like one is giving like more physical Evan Mobley, and
Mhm.
one is kind of like giving me like
Okay.
Obi vibes.
Mhm.
Which
Who's a
Obi
better shooter?
he's a better shooter. Paulo at that point was a better shooter. He's a better. I think just all around is a better basketball player. But I think Cooper Flag, if he does win it all, okay, I'm sold.
Mhm.
But we got a young Florida team, bro, with a guard that's doing
Zero,
whatever
zero stars. Yeah.
they just
Mhm.
doing whatever they want to do. So that's an interest. I hope. I want to see how the bracket is shaped up because I hope that Florida does see Duke in the finals. But
That's a
Houston,
matchup that I want. No, that's a matchup that I'm looking for. That I would like to see. A
but
Duke
Houston
versus
though,
Florida.
we nobody said nothing about Houston. Houston is one of those schools where
Sneaky.
every year they building up a solid program, bro.
Hmm.
The program is getting more and more savvy about getting their guys in the league, and they're getting more like prospects that's wanting to come and play for them.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
But any thoughts on this for you, DG?
Yeah, man. Yeah, I know I'm a Gators fan, but it's more so of the football, But I rep Gators in general in regards to any sport. Shout out to them boys. We good at everything, man. I feel like I feel like we overall one of the best sport schools in the whole nation. Every sport included, not just football. So Gators, they're very prestigious in regards to that, but in regards to the Final Four, um, I don't think they the best team in the Final Four. They have a chance. I do want them to win, but I don't know. Duke, they have history in regards to winning it all. You know, all the players that they got in the league that went to Duke. It just seems like Duke is going to be that school that ends up winning it all. I do hope that Florida actually meets them
Mm-hmm.
in the final two. But as of right now, I think Duke will pull it off. But Florida, we gonna put up a good fight, a very good fight. With Florida, I don't really like our bigs. The guards that we got are pretty good. Pretty good. But our bigs, we gotta be able to keep up with what Duke got right now. But if that could happen, then maybe something different could happen and Florida could win it all. But right now, I'm giving it to Duke, bro.
Hey man, I'm gonna start. What this is what I'm gonna start doing. I gotta get y'all address, and the reason I gotta get y'all address because I will be sending drug tests to all y'all houses, man. I will be sending drug tests because I don't know, man. I don't know what y'all see over there. But to transition, we got some UFC matchups, man. I don't know if y'all boys fans of UFC, but this is one of them things where I kind of I'm always tuned into the UFC and I like to see what's going on. And we got lightweight matchups that will be electric tonight.
Mhm.
Is a big time fighter in Volkanovski, and he's maybe like I want to say 5'6", 5'7", real stocky dude. Good wrestling skills. He's from New Zealand, by way of New Zealand, and he's out of Israel Adesanya's camp. And this guy right here, he was a champion. He lost the belt, but now he's on a tear to get it back. But he's facing a young Brazilian who who's been taking everybody off, man. And I'm curious to see how this matchup plays out because now I've been watching UFC since the UFC hundreds. Now we're in the 300s,
Mhm.
right? And it's starting to become more of a mainstream sport,
Mhm.
but people don't look at it as just violence anymore. It's more so like all forms of martial arts, right?
Right.
And to explain more, the guys who are running the game at this moment are mainly the wrestlers. If you have good wrestling skills, you can go far in the UFC. And what I will say is, you have to know all forms of fighting, because you get in there and let's say you just a boxer, right?
Yeah.
And you got that wrestler who ain't gonna play with you. He gonna let you throw your punches. Oh, that's cute. That's cute. When you go to that ground and you can't get back up, that's a problem. Or let's say you are a good wrestler, but you got a guy who knows jujitsu or Muay Thai. You know what I'm saying? It makes it a little more difficult to fight guys like that, because you go in for the takedown or whatever, and now you got a knee to your mouth. You know what I'm saying?
Mm.
So it's
Mhm.
all these four. You got to be cerebral, and it's an art form. And a lot of these people, they got good background stories. There, some of them are teachers, some of them are like professors. They got all type of different stuff going on.
Wow.
You know,
And they
they,
still manage to do this part time, or like this more like a full time gig for them?
so what it depends. Some of them are like using that as a way out, and some of them are trying to make it in because they just love the art form. You know what I'm saying? Some people just like to fight.
Man, I
What I would
like. Now, when it comes to UFC, man, I don't watch it fully. I know about some good names or whatnot, but I feel like, man, that's a dangerous ass sport, bro. I feel like it's more dangerous than football, in my opinion. You
I
know,
had I had sent DG a video. We got a Haitian guy who done entered the UFC now, man.
For real?
Yeah, and it was a guy who was a heavyweight. His name was Saint Prix. He was a good UFC fighter by way of Haiti, and he was whooping ass until eventually he ran into some of them top dogs. But he had it. It's Saint Vincent Saint Prix. Yeah, and then we got the guy by way of Canada. He George St. Pierre. That guy was a beast. But yeah, we got a lot of different. There's a lot of people who trying to make it into UFC, and I hope like maybe next, not this episode, but next episode, I got a guy at my job who's training MMA, and he's trying to go pro by next year. So I'd like to kind of switch lanes and see what y'all think about that. So if DG, you want to join us on that one too, what I'm saying, see what his lifestyle's like and see what he's into. So yeah.
Yeah, I'll be interested in that, bro. You kind of threw me off when you told me there's a Haitian doing that. I'm like, man, you know how Zoe people are. Oh, petit one? No,
Yeah.
no.
They
And
say that when they see that check, bro.
yeah, until they see that check, oh, we might keep your battle, okay?
yeah.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know, Haitian. I used to have my uncle. He used to love watching WWE.
Mhm.
Mm,
That shit fake. They love like watching it. But when it's other people, they don't have no problem. But when it's their kid, oh
yeah.
yeah, they not having that, bro.
Mhm.
They not
Right.
having it. With me and my parents, how they were, I never really got into Gumain. I low key did wrestling in high school for football. They you had to do something during the off season to get prepared for the real season, the regular season. So
Mm,
coach told me, oh, if you can't play basketball, you might as well do wrestling. I can't shoot for nothing, bro. I can only play defense. So I'm like, bro, I'm invaluable to the basketball team at my high school. So
mm,
I went into wrestling. Wrestling, I'm okay with wrestling because it's not like headshots.
Mhm.
That's
mm.
my whole issue about UFC, headshots. So like that's why you say it's worse than football. I think you're prone to get a concussion each time you fight.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Right.
Yeah, because they're hitting you in the head consistently multiple times. On football, it's kind of like on accident. You could have,
Mhm.
but with boxing, bro, you can't avoid that. And
Mhm.
not boxing, UFC in general. They don't even have the head thing. Boxing, they got the head thing, but UFC, they got that, bro.
Right.
Wow, wow.
But
You
check
know,
this out. Check this out. When you think about it, right? These people sign themselves up for this, and the reason they sign themselves up for this is because it's a more of a lifestyle. They don't fight every day. They don't fight every month. It's like they train hard for that moment. You know what I'm saying? It's just like a prize boxer. They train
Mhm.
hard for that moment, and then they're looking at it from the standpoint of like, I don't, I don't look at it to get knocked out. I'm more so looking at it from the like, I have to do a job. You know what I'm saying? I have food to put on my
Table.
kid's plate. You know what I'm saying? And then some of them that don't have kids, they look at it as it's an art form. I'm learning. And have you ever noticed after every fight? it's a humbling experience. If you get your ass beat, you go to the guy, you shake his hand. They might pray together. They might, you know what I'm saying, like have a moment of solidarity where it's like, thank you for the. It's almost like thank you for this ass whooping, or thank you for allowing me to share the octagon with you, because it's like this is an art form. We're sharing different fighting styles. When it's a guy who had like a twitch, right? He had like one of his eyes like, but this is even before he started fighting. He had just had like a disability, but he turned out to be one of the world's best 50-50 jiu-jitsu fighters. And there's only a handful of those type of fighters in the world who can do 50-50 jiu-jitsu. And essentially they're just trying to target like a ligament, you know what I'm saying, to just try to like, you know, either tear your knee off to the ACL or the ankle. And, you know, as a fighter, it's your choice if you get put in that position to tap out or, you know what I'm saying, suffer the consequences. And I noticed some of the great UFC fighters who have a lot of pride and heart, they're gonna hold on, and like whatever happens to the leg happens to the leg. You know.
I mean, let me ask you this. So, like, let's say I started doing UFC fighting, and then I get in the ring with Davis or Mayweather, and I knock him out. What's gonna happen after that? Like, am I gonna get a bag if I do that, or
yeah. So you get paid, the other person gets paid. You know what I'm saying? Whoever wins the fight gets paid more, and then depending on how much that's, there's in a championship round there's five rounds of 3 minutes, and like a regular fight is 3 rounds of 3 minutes, I believe. And what happens is when you, let's say George Masvidal, guy from Miami, Chico from Miami, he gets in to the UFC, right? He has one of the fastest knockouts in UFC history, where a dude tried to reach in like this, caught him with a knee, knocked him out, right? They got a fight bonus because, you know, Dana White, if you get the fastest knockout, you get a bonus. You get bonuses for a lot of things, but like, let's say your lower end fights before you become like more mainstream and you just kind of whoop it up on guys, you might see a check of like 35,000. You know, and that's just for one night. So the more you become a household name, the more fights you win, your wager goes up, and then, you know, those endorsements start coming. So it's just like any other athlete, you know, they just get in the ring, do what they got to do. Sometimes both people are unscathed.
So you got to do like what? When you first starting off, you got to do like 3 fights a year, 4 fights to make ends meet. Then once you get a little bit more lit, you doing like 1 fight a year, 1 fight every 2 years, just like with Mayweather. We see him fight, then after a year or two, we don't see nothing. Then he's back on again.
So this is the thing about the UFC. The UFC is not, Dana White is not going to let nobody duck nobody. In boxing, more so the politics involved. Like, it's 3 champions in one division. This guy holds a belt because he's the champion of this camp. This guy holds a belt because he's a champion of this camp. In UFC, the best guy fights the best guy.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? If you're number 8 in the world, you want to jump the ranks, try your hand at number 5. You know what I'm saying? And he's not gonna let you duck nobody. So it's like everybody could get the smoke. Even the women, bro. The women be getting it on. They be bumping in there.
Oh, dude, boys?
Say that one more time.
Dude, like girls versus boys, they do that.
It's women versus women. It's women versus women, but these women got hands, bro. I'm talking about the average UFC woman. You remember Ronda Rousey?
Yeah.
So Ronda, she was more so a wrestling style fighter, but in a lot of cases, she'll beat you up, take you to the ground, take that ligament, take your arm, either pop it out of socket, take the leg. She was like a Kurt Angle type, you know, as woman, but she started taking some L's and she transitioned to wrestling. You know what I'm saying? Where, you know, you don't have, it's not that much, you know, strain.
Let me ask you this one more question. Would you ever cuff a female that does that? Like a female that aggressive?
Hell yeah.
I gotta learn something. I gotta learn something too, because it can't be a point where we get into an argument. We can't have that. We can't have that, because there are some couples in the UFC that you know what I'm saying, they together. But what I would say is, if my wife, you know, got all that going on, or whoever I'm with, you know it ain't no calling the cops. they handling that like Mr. and Mrs. Smith. And they were calling the cops. It's like, oh, so let's, because you know she liable. That type of woman is liable to throw you the gloves and say, "Let's get in the octagon." It's downstairs.
That's what I'm saying. Like that down, no cheating, no nothing, bro. She see
No.
one thing, you done for,
What
bro.
shit? She see one thing wrong. She's like, let me holler at you real quick.
Who liked your picture? Who liked your picture yesterday?
Yeah. You know, and it might be days you don't even feel like fighting. But you know, they got it's one Clarissa Shields. I like Clarissa Shields. And Clarissa Shields is the female boxer, the black lady.
Yeah.
And the
like a multi-champion, right?
Yep, the champ. Now, something about her moxie, and like, I'm not gonna lie, I guarantee you Clarissa Shields will work a lot of males. Like I'm talking about, you put her in the ring, she's gonna go crazy. Like, but
she with Papoose, right?
With Papoose, yeah.
Yep.
Okay, yeah.
I know Papoose can't whoop her.
Yeah, Papoose, he grits. If he do anything wrong, he done.
Yeah, but he seemed like he, outstanding guy, upstanding. You got to keep it that way. You know what I'm saying? And if things end, he gotta, hey, I just don't feel the same anymore. You gonna have to bring it to her real nice because, yeah. But to transition, bats in New York. How y'all feel about this, y'all boy? Like, we're gonna start with Melo.
Me? Well, all right. So I'm gonna show you guys what the bat looks like. Okay, just give about a few seconds. Tell them to load up. So this right here, this is a visual of a torpedo bat. This thing, I guess, been here for a while, but it was officially introduced this season. The only team that's been using it so far frequently is my beloved New York Yankees. Apparently these bats are legal per the Major League Baseball. I just guess that the way that the bat is shaped, I guess it's causing like more home runs than usual, or like the hitting average to be more higher than it used to be. I just feel like right now a lot of teams might try to transition into that aspect of it because with the velocity right now, the Yankees they lead the league. They lead the league in home runs right now, and we're only 9 games in. So I think they have over like 24, 25 home runs in 9 games, which is absurd, which is crazy. I don't know, like it looks weird, like it's shaped like a bat, but as soon as you go to the top portion of it, it just get more bulkier, as JP would say. It gets more bulkier. So I guess when the pitcher throws the ball and the batter hits it, it give it more more velocity to the water.
More pop because essentially that end of the bat is where they want to make the most contact.
Yes.
And if they don't have to, have that, like normal bats have more surface area rather than this being just that top piece that's kind of choked up on the bat that allows more pop. And these players are so good that they can direct the ball wherever they want to hit it, even though you don't always know where the next pitch is going to be at, but they can control placement at times.
There you go.
And yeah, these bats, I think it needs to be equality because the Yankees always finding ways to do something. And this is my personal opinion on this, but this is an organization that always tries to keep their name in the shine, in the limelight, no matter at what cost. They try to use my beloved. Look, you got another picture up there.
Yeah. Shout out to him, Mr. Aaron. I don't know how to pronounce his last name, but he's a former MIT graduate. He started coaching baseball like legit a few years ago. So he went from teaching in the classroom to becoming a coach in the majors.
Well, he needed to teach everybody how not to cheat. That's what you need to do. But
go ahead, JP.
Go ahead, because I'm just this organization. Back to where I was at. This organization has used South Florida as a minor league organization for years on end. And I'm really tired of it. I'm tired of it because we're not trying to be nobody's minor league team where you take every player from our organization and then send them up to New York. That's not what we're trying to have going on down here. And I feel like minus the guy, Melo, a lot of these New York fans, they have this privilege about them where they feel entitled to things. This is what I hope that they fall miserably towards the end, though. I want to see them succeed all year long to then, take a major plummet at the end, or see my Marlins. How about that? See my Marlins. So,
appreciate you for Jazz Chisholm along with Giancarlo Stanton. Appreciate you, my guy.
Right. And I hope they catch diarrhea. That's I'll leave it at. But any extra input y'all would like to add on this topic?
So it seemed like I'm not a big baseball person, but it seemed like that bat is like a cheating bat. Like shouldn't there be like some type of regulation? Just like when Tom Brady was deflating footballs. It seems like a similar situation, bro.
Right. You hit it right on the head, UG. This is like one of them similar, but at the same time, nobody cares because it's the Yankees. It's the Yankees. So this has been approved because it's the Yankees. You know what would happen if they decide to discontinue these bats or whatever? All New York is going to be up in arms. But yeah.
So there's nothing that they can do about it in regards to making every other team in the MLB have that type of bat?
They can't design their own. Like instead of just
design their own.
Well, it has to go through an approval thing, but they got theirs approved, so everybody else is kind of like, "What the hell is this?" You know what I'm saying? But they've been, that's the Yankees way. That's the Yankees way.
So it's like the tush push.
There you go.
Exactly. But you know what though? I'm not even mad at the tush push. This right here is insane, bro. I've actually hit with one of these type of bats, not to that extreme, but I've used a metal bat that looks just like that, and I'm telling you, you could crank some shit out with those. So, man,
shit, let me try out for the MLB. Give me that bat, I'll make it, bro. I'll give me a bag.
Minus first.
You never know, man. But to transition, man, is it better to find someone who isn't American? We're gonna start with you, Starboy.
Yeah.
Can you guys hear me?
Said again? What you say?
Can y'all hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, so with this topic, is it better to find someone who isn't American? It's like a double-edged sword question. It's a yes and no for me. You know what I'm saying? So it's like you want to see what's outside of your race, or if you're, Haitian and American descent, if you're Dominican and Cuban, or if you're Dominican American, Cuban American, you want to see if there's something outside of your, your race. Because we was having a conversation, JP, Mello, we were having a conversation early on in the week. When you go to foreign countries, the women there treat you as if you were a king, compared to the women in Miami, or or just different parts of the world. You know what I'm saying? So it's just different how, like, American woman is different because, like, for example, like, this is the land of the free, supposedly, and like, for is down here is different. Like, there's so many options, there's so many things to do, like there's so many places to go, like, especially me being in Miami, like there's a party every night somewhere in Miami. It never stops. So it's just kind of different, when you dating somebody that's outside of your race, you see different, you know, um, the way other people's family were raised. Like, if you look at, Hispanics, like, one thing about that I say that I would love about Hispanics is that, no matter what, they stick together. It could be 10 of them it could be 10 of them in the Honda Civic. They don't care. They're not embarrassed. They're going to be in that Honda Civic. So it's just different.
Okay. I like that. I like that perspective. What about you, DG?
Yeah, to pivot off of what Starboy said about the Hispanics, I do notice that, bro. It's just like, bro, I was in the car the other day, and I stayed by a lot of Hispanics in my area. You know, they hold each other down. You know, us, if you're not picking up a female in a Corvette, a Lamborghini, they're not talking to you, bro. I see them in Spanish people like they on two-wheel bikes. The girl on the front, just like back in the old days when we were kids. You know, you put your friend on the front and you drive the bike. The girl up there holding it down with the baby in front of her, bro. And you know, then they're committing to guys like that. You know, they're not asking for too much. You know, it just seems like things are different with them. But in regards to, is it better to find someone who isn't in America? I do agree with Starboy. Say yes or no. Every side of this question has a downfall and an upside. So if you find a girl here, okay, we're born here. You know, we really want to commit to somebody over here because it will be way easier. You know, you probably grew up the same way because you grew up in the same state, same area, most likely if you're meeting somebody here. You know, even if you're traveling, you know, everything kind of works the same in the U.S. in regards to how you raise, breakfast, school, so on and so forth, church. You know, in third world countries, whatever country you go to, it could be different in regards to how things work over there. You know, we go over there, like you guys said, we're more valuable. You know, we don't go over there and we're just regular people. You know, we automatically go over there and we have way more funds than an average person would have in like Colombia or Brazil, so on and so forth. So that makes the women attract to us even more. You see how women treat dudes in the US who have a lot to
Yeah.
themselves.
Yeah.
We get that in other countries. You know, so the women here are dubbing us, even though we could get treated the same way somewhere else. You know, but the women, they're gonna continue to chase the guy that would be us if we were in Colombia. You know, so I just feel like if you do get a relationship over there, then that's the case of you being in a long distance relationship,
Right.
and you don't really trust the girl in regards to what she could be doing on a daily basis. You know, you could go to Colombia for 2 weeks, come back what 3 months from now, you think she's not doing nothing.
Check. Come on. You a fool.
Yeah,
You a
you a
fool.
fool, man. You know,
But
but
she
at the
ain't the
same
only
time,
guy coming to Colombia.
yeah, but when you there, she's showing love to you.
Mhm.
You fucking with her. You know, you most likely you paid for her time and services. You
Mhm.
know, why you there, but why you gone when she's off the clock, who else is gonna give her that money that she need?
Right.
You know, they don't really got it over there. They got pesos. Pesos don't really value up to $1.
Hell yeah.
So yeah, so another American dude could go to Colombia the same day you coming back. As soon as they land, they see your girl, boom, he got her for 2 weeks. You know, so it's just like they both have their downfalls. It's just the fact of you gotta get to the point where you could be the same person in Colombia and America, as to where we don't have no worries here, and we don't got no worries in Colombia. Then at that point, you'll be set. You know, you could go back to Colombia anytime you want to when you're established here. You know, if you could go for 2 weeks, come back for 2 weeks, then right back again. But here, you know, I don't know how much times you guys travel a year. You know, me, I'm like 2 times a year. You know, not too much because you know I don't got the funds to be like traveling consistently.
Right.
You know, but if I had the opportunity to travel consistently, then okay, I might look into a relationship if I find something that's so hard to find in America. Then I wouldn't mind like, okay, she's a 10, good looking, natural body. You know, she listens to what I say. You know, that's very hard to find here. You know, the tens there's a whole bunch of guys that already try to talk to them. They feel like they're on a higher level and that they can't even talk to you. But over there, you know, you're gonna look like a king. And then that's what you're really looking for over here, but you can't get it. So it's just like
I'm curious to know which one of y'all out of y'all three will go to DR or somewhere, right? It don't got to be that specific country, but which one of y'all would go there and start acting like Ruby Rose?
Oh, I wouldn't. I wouldn't.
But by that, I mean like, you know, five, not $5 million requirement to mess with me, But like, who's gonna? Because if they gonna flop. If you got the bread, they gonna flop.
Mm.
So I'm curious to know, like, because when you, like you said, when you have that financial status, you have more
Mm-hmm.
options in a sense.
Or
So I
access.
want to know which one of y'all think, and I want an honest opinion, would start acting like Ruby Rose in a sense, like you gotta pay to play. You know what I'm saying? Rather than it being the other way around.
Yeah. I mean, I would be bougie. You know, I'm I'm not hitting every girl over there because I know, like you said, it come easy. So
Mm-hmm.
if it come easy, that's when you gotta be careful. When something comes too easy in life, like whoa, wait, hold on a second. It should be harder than this, you
Mm-hmm.
know. But over there, it's so easy to the point where you can't just hit every girl that come up to you. You gotta, some people I know that go over there. They asking the females to take a blood test, go to the doctor, get checked up before they do anything with them. Some dudes, oh, she look good. Let me just hop in the bedroom, do what I gotta do without no
Taking
remorse, no
precautions.
nothing.
Yeah.
Taking precaution, you gotta take precaution, or you could just, oh, you too, okay. Me, I'm not gonna do the Ruby Rose, but I'm gonna take my precautions at the same time, not do too much, you know. Threesomes, I'm not gonna do that. Nothing, like every other day, possibly, you know.
Okay, so to segue, and this question is going to be for Mello off the rip. Um, is the dating scene shot?
For sure. For sure. I'm one of those. I got lucky, man. I got lucky. Like the way that I see how, like in our generation now, like I said, everything all comes down to all these unrealistic expectations. I just felt like, for guys, especially for guys, it's much harder, man. Like, we have to come a certain way. We have to fit a certain criteria, for the females. And it sucks. And I feel like at this point, it's hard being yourself. I truly feel like being yourself is not enough to kind of, you know, bring into the dating scene. Then always remember this, man. There will always be someone out there that brings more to the table. You feel me? Or I said that will always have more than you. And I'm not saying to go out your way and trying to live up to the expectation. That's not what I'm saying. But at this point, it's just like you just got to find someone of your caliber, or I said someone that's within your bracket. And it's crazy, man. Like every time when I hear my homies talk, man, how like they will go on these dates, and they thought that things was all sunshine and rainbows. Come to find out, these niggas were about to be in hell. Excuse the N word, but yeah, these guys felt like they were about to be in hell. Due to the fact, what type of situation they were about to encounter.
Mm-hmm.
Right. You never
Mm-hmm.
know what you're about to embark on next, man.
There you go.
Yeah.
What
So
about you guys? I would like to hear you guys' perspective on this too.
I like to take a jab out of this. The dating scene is terrible. It's never going to change. It's not going to get any better. It's only going to continue to get worse. When you think about it, you look at like how we move and how each generation moves. So, what this generation is into, the generation after us is into, is speed dating, which is the 20v1s. The 20v1 is basically speed dating, but it's different because now people aren't using, like, for example, a guy, like, for example, guys don't just walk up to women anymore and be like, how you doing, what's your name, like trying to start a conversation. It's, let me get a 360. Now if you got the pull like that, like you see some celebrities doing a 20v1, okay, cool. But if you don't got the pull like that, then I don't think you should be doing it, because you set a bad precedent for the younger generation.
Oh yeah.
Setting a bad precedent, because it's like, for example, like, you got to think about it. Stuff that is, online is accessible to anyone. So you doing 20v1s, like, my thing is this, like, if I want a girl, why would, and this is being recorded, why would I want the whole world to know she a freak? Like, I don't need everybody to know that. That's between me and her. So now she either taking off her shirt, lifting up her shirt on the 20v1, which, you trying to get a job, right? Because if you're gonna be with somebody, like, you gotta in this generation, especially for us men, especially in Miami, rent ain't cheap. If you living on your own, rent not cheap. So you tell me you got a girl that potentially don't want to work, and then or if she, showed herself on camera, which can affect her from getting a job, it's going to become your responsibility to take care of her, plus pay the bills, plus do all these other things, which you're not really going to be taking care of yourself or saving money on your own.
Yep.
So the dating scene is just like it's bad. It's not going to get any better, because what do we see now? If a guy see a girl in public, he rather take a picture of her than post it on TikTok or Instagram or Twitter and be like, "Hey, yo, y'all boys, look at this girl. Like, can somebody get me in contact with her?" Bro, you was right in front of her. Go,
That was a weird one to me. That's a weird one to me.
bro, go talk to that girl. Either she gonna say yes or she gonna say no. That's it. Like, people are afraid to take an L. You gonna take some L sometimes in life. It is what it is. But people are afraid to are afraid to just go up to a girl or be like, all right, cool. Let me get to know the girl. So I don't know. It's just bad.
You're not gonna be everybody's speed.
Exactly.
That's what it comes down to. So I say, for me, is the dating scene shot? I feel like it really depends on where you go. I feel like it is a needle in a haystack type of deal now these days, because you might find a quality in somebody that you like, and then somebody might have a different quality, or that same person might have a quality that you don't like. So it's really like finding what flavor work for you, because I believe there's no such thing as the perfect individual, but it's what you're willing to tolerate at this point, because you know everybody got something going on. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I heard this thing. It said when you're dating or talking to somebody, 9 times out of 10, if you ask them like, so are you talking to somebody? Everybody is talking to somebody or has talked to somebody.
Respectfully.
And so it's like that's one of those, you don't never know what you're really gonna get.
Hmm.
Then also too, JP, there's something that you said, and I kind of disagree with. Never tolerate nothing. Never tolerate it. You feel me? Whatever understand this. You got to know your worth, man. Understand, like, cause always remember, you only could tolerate for so much.
For so long.
Yeah, for so long. You know what I mean? So it's like kind of got to pick and choose your battles. You get what I mean? Like, got always look at things from a long term perspective. Like, do I see myself, like enjoying this crap 24/7, 365, or it's just more like a short term thing. If you get what I mean.
Right. To answer that, what I mean by tolerate is like your lady might do something that you just can't stand, right?
Right.
At the end of the day, y'all gotta put up with each other because that's your person, right?
Right.
You feel like it's your person, so it's one of those things. Like at the end of the day, we could talk about it. We could come to an agreement, but in all actuality, you tolerated that behavior, but that doesn't mean you have to accept it. You know.
Mm, okay. I can never see where you're coming from.
Yes, indeed. What about you, DG?
Oh man,
Are we cooked?
let me see. Based off what Starboy said, about men approaching women nowadays, just like women are scared of rejection, men are scared of rejection. So it's kind of like you don't know who gotta approach who. There's some men, females you will have to approach them. There's no if, ands, or buts about it. You will have to approach them. There's some other men that females feel like they have too much pride to approach. They feel like, oh, this is not even in my standards to approach a guy like this. But they're scared of rejection in general. It could be possible. But with men, it's just like, you don't want to approach a female. There's probably multiple dudes in her DMs, not in real life trying to ask her out, and then you get nervous trying to ask her to even talk to her, to go up to her. It's like, I know y'all be out sometime, y'all see some fine, but y'all don't know if this is the right time to approach them. How should I approach them? Oh, in a way as to where they don't get offended by it. Because females, they, like we talked about this last stream about green flags and red flags.
Yeah.
With us, we looking for green flags. Females, they're looking for red flags. So if you come off the wrong way, they off you off rip.
Yeah.
You try to talk to him the same day, you know. But in regards to the dating scene, if it's shot, I wouldn't say it's shot, but I would say it's in the hospital right now.
Mhm.
Oh, it's on life support.
Is on life support?
Yeah, it's on life support. It could be saved, but nobody's not gonna take the initiative. The dating scene probably in there for like stage 4 cancer or something like that.
God damn.
It's been there for a long time. Like doctors don't know what to do. Every medicine is not working. The cancerous cell is gonna stay in the body no matter what. No matter what you do to remove the tumors, so on and so forth, the cancerous cells will still remain in the body, especially based off genetics. So,
Okay. Well, let me ask you this. With that said, do you believe that men are natural hunters, right?
not all men, but that's what we're assigned to be. But not all men are hunters.
Right. So the reason why I asked you that is because, like, if you see something fine, and she, you know what I'm saying, you wanna step up on her, at the same time, she's looking at you like, it's a societal norm, like where like the woman feels like he gotta come talk to me. And if you got a shy guy who's afraid to go talk to her, maybe he wasn't the guy for her in the jump. You know what I'm saying? Because certain women require certain energy, you know what I'm saying? So if you see something you like, I say by all means, you're saying you got to walk up on that. If that's the energy you feeling, and if it's a pressing matter and you've been watching her, because you spend so much energy and time just looking at her, and it's like you might as well say, "Hey, how you doing?" "Hey, how you doing?" Ain't never shot nobody, ain't never hurt nobody. You know what I'm saying? That's just normal back and forth banter. So rejection shouldn't even be like in a thought process for a male. But I do think that there are certain moments where women should run down on men too. If you see something you like, you run down on him, let him know. Local families, hey, how you doing? Where you from? It don't hurt.
But let me counter this. Let me counter this. One second.
Okay.
So all the guys that the female would probably approach, they probably don't end up well in those situations because there's a reason as to why they had to approach that guy. That guy probably didn't have to choose that female. That's why he ain't talked to her, but she ended up doing it anyway because she knew that was her only hope. There's no way this guy's gonna talk to me. Like, she wanted him so bad. When you're in that point, obviously you're gonna say to the guy like, okay, I really like you. Now the guy's in the how could I say it, in the level where he gets to choose what goes and what stays. Females, they're a little bit more acceptive of red flags, even though they approached you because they're the ones who liked you. So it's kind of the fact of the guys that they do approach, I know it don't end up well, but the guys that they should be approaching, they don't approach them. They just feel like they're too valuable, even though there's nothing of value that they have to offer. They could be regular just like us. They still think they're on a higher qualified level, but that's what society gives to them. A regular female could have 10K followers. A regular guy could have 900 followers, 800 followers. So we don't get looked in the light of a good looking female. So
I have a question for y'all boys, especially DG. You said something about rejection. Like you see, you talk about how men are fear of rejection. I never heard that phrase of women being scared of getting rejected. Can you guys please elaborate on me on how do women be afraid of rejection? I feel like, with women, I'm being nice about it. They're more of the prize. So I just thought that since they have all these options, they're able to kind of pick and choose on who,
They be scared, bro. They be scared.
They be scared. How? Like,
I don't know.
What am I looking at? What am I not looking at? That's like, okay, like she's scared to approach a dude.
You got to remember what I mentioned to you. When a female approaches, is most likely for a guy that doesn't need her. So she probably approached a guy before that she knew that she should have not approached.
Okay.
And rejected her. It takes one time to get rejected for a female to be like, nah, I'm not doing that shit no more.
She never do it again. She never do it again.
She never doing
heard that before.
All these women empowerment songs.
Yeah.
They're not gonna let them do it again. But there's a thing that they say you gotta like who like you, bro. So
Mhm.
if you feel like, shoot, he been looking like Soca fam. If the guy, females, if the guy been looking at you and he's staring at you hard down, he's not staring at you to be a creep all the time. Sometimes he might be staring at you because he's trying to figure out if he got a green light. But then y'all turning looking back. You know what I'm saying? Something might as well be said.
See, that's where guys get scared of rejection at that point, because
Yeah.
we've been in a lot of situations as to where we put down our females the same way, and it didn't come off correctly to some females. Other females, it worked perfectly. Other females, like, don't look at me like that. Some females, you could grab them by the arm and they'll be fine with that. Other females, they swinging on you.
That Miami female who you grab a Miami female by the arm. She be like, "What you want? What you want?"
It's over for you, bro. It's over.
But you gotta take into consideration, Mello. Like, just like what DG said, women, and you said this, Mello. Women hold all the cards.
Right.
You gotta think about it. They hold all the cards. So of course they would be afraid of getting rejection, because that in that position they're putting themselves. Now they're not the prized possession anymore. Yes,
Okay.
they believe they are the prized possession, and like a woman is a prized possession, but men are too. So in that point, a woman, when she's going there, she's not the one that's being sought after now. She's going to doing the hunting, and when you're doing the hunting, just like if you're in the jungle, yeah, you trying to look for something so you could eat, but there's different animals that could come try to get you. So it's the same thing as, like, for example, like, with women, like, you got to think about it. A girl can break up with a dude. She got a fallback guy already.
True.
Every girl already got that fallback guy.
They know they next. They
already
next.
know. Women already know. See, we are different. Women already know once a guy start walking up to her, they already know in their head if they're gonna give them the chance or not. They already know the answer.
Exactly.
Some women pretend like they don't know. They know. Just like if a woman gonna sleep with a guy, she already know if she's gonna sleep with a guy or not. There is no such thing as, if a woman really want the guy, she's sleeping with him on the first night. There is no, like, I'm waiting 6 months, I'm gonna let him, because nah.
So wait, so Hassan, I'm glad that you bring that up. So let's just say if the girl ends up sleeping with the guy on the first night, does that make her a boozy?
No.
It does not make her a boozy.
Nah.
So when guys do it, we consider that as what though?
Yeah.
I get
No,
you.
I'm asking. No. This is a fair question. I'm just trying to see perspective. I'm not saying you're wrong.
You're right on
But
that.
also, we consider as the man.
Right.
I'll be feeling like the man when I walk through.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we consider like the man. Now, my biggest thing is this, right? If a woman sleeps with a guy the first night, the reason why I don't say it's a bad thing, only because it's like, for example, we all human. It depends on the situation. Like, it depends how it go. Like, for example, if you getting ready to sleep with a girl, right?
Mm-hmm.
And she got and you getting ready to sleep with a girl, and she like, all right, do you got a condom? And you come unprepared, and she opened the drawer and she got the whole drawer full with it.
That time of booze. That time of big booze.
You already know this is not the first time that she done did this.
This won't be my first time.
So you already know that. But now, if you run into a girl where y'all talking and then y'all end up sleeping together on the first night, like the first night that y'all link, okay, that's different. But you got some girls that come fully prepared.
Hey, but would you rather her be prepared or not prepared?
Listen, man, I got a quick backstory, right?
Oh shit!
One time, a quick backstory. So one time, I'm talking to this girl, right? So talking to this girl, her birthday coming up, right? So mind you, me and the girl, we linked, but I think she had got into a car accident. So like we had seen each other like after the car accident, but she hadn't gotten a new car yet.
Okay.
So I pulled up to her place, right? Cooled it with her. She was cooling it, everything like that. So she was like, "Oh, I'm staying in a hotel for my birthday. You should stay with me, right?" Now, mind you, y'all boys, what did I already tell you?
Yeah. Green light,
right? But mind you, there was no messages that was giving me the green light in terms of like there was no messages that ever talked about like us like getting intimate. There was no messages about that. So
Okay.
when I went there, I wasn't prepared. You feel what I'm saying? Like I ain't have the rubbers with me,
Mm.
bro. Listen, bro. She cut up when we get there after we like get like settled. We go out, we come back, bro. She already. Oh, you got condoms? No, I don't got none. I already done put out the mags. She already got like a pack of them things.
What the?
I'm like, yeah, I already know.
So how she like she was just assuming that was your size, or like,
Yeah, bro.
oh, okay.
She just assumed, but I'm just like, yo, like she already done got them because she's on the BBW aspect. So you
Oh.
can't really get right if like no Diddy, like you not
You're
you
not
know,
working for it.
Okay.
Yeah,
She's thick.
yeah.
She's thick.
yeah.
Okay.
So I'm like, bro, she already done got like she prepared, like fully prepared.
Damn.
I'm like, okay.
That dumb
I'm like, okay.
You
I ain't
you
never,
you were dealing with a pro.
yeah, listen,
A veteran, not a
a
pro,
veteran.
a
That's
veteran.
what I'm saying. A
So
veteran.
let me ask you this: did you enjoy yourself?
Yeah, of course I enjoy myself. Hey, listen.
That's all that matters.
That's all that matters.
Listen, listen, I'll tell you right now, that was a different weight class, my boy.
Okay,
Oh
That was a different
man.
weight class, bro.
okay.
That was something different.
And with that said, is it one of those situations where like did you view her different, or you just more so like, I appreciate you for being prepared?
Now I viewed her a little bit different because I'm like, for example, like if you're talking to a girl, like you know how, and I'm pretty sure y'all boys been in the same situation where you talking to a girl and at the beginning, it seemed like everything's right. It seemed like all right to you. It seemed like why would a dude leave this situation that he was in if everything was right? Like, but then you find out certain things when you talking to that person. So it was like I found out some things like about her in terms of like not even about her being prepared or not. I'm just like because I never dealt with a girl that was like that prepared.
Okay, so you felt like she was prepared for everybody else, or
Yes, I feel like she was prepared. Like she had like she didn't have like for example, it's different if a girl go to the store and then get a little some condiment coming like in a 2-3 pack. She didn't have the full side like the box like the
in the
order on
menu? Yeah, the
Amazon.
menu pull out the Ziploc bag and it's
Yeah,
like,
like the Amazon.
Which one you
like,
want?
exactly. Which one you want? Like exactly. She done had that one. So I'm like, yeah.
So my next question is, in that situation, if she call you back up, would you revisit that type of thing?
Bro.
You
No.
said nah. Why are you saying no? Why are you saying no?
It's how the situation ended, and
Exactly.
on how the situation ended, I feel like with women, it's like for example, if we rocking together and we cooling it, stuff like that,
Right.
and then you tell me, like, all right, so I'm working, you working, and I'm getting so busy that you're telling me like, okay, like, all right, even though I'm still making time to see you, but you like, all right, I don't want to move, like I don't want to move any further. We talking, but she was like, I don't want to move any further. I don't want a relationship right now. I just want to chill. I already know what that means.
She wouldn't be a booze.
Exactly.
That's really what it is. She wouldn't be a
Exactly.
booze.
So that means that you wanna try to like see what else is out there. We're not dating each other, so I have no problem with that. I'm vibing, you vibing. But the problem became when I started doing the same thing.
Mhm.
So now she blowing my phone up and was like, yo, like, why you not doing the same things as before? Bro,
You peep the situation.
you just told me you don't want a relationship. If you don't want a relationship, then the flowers, all that, I'm not doing that no more.
Mhm.
I may do it, but it's not going to be as often as I was doing it before when I thought we had a potential of being in a relationship. If there is no potential anymore, then that's not my job. Because guess what? I already know that I'm not going to be the only guy taking you out on a date.
Mhm.
I already know that. So And just like I said, every woman have a fallback guy, and it's like I'm pretty sure y'all boys been in that situation when you talk to a girl and she say I'm not talking to nobody, and
Mhm.
you find out she was talking to somebody. And what I don't like is like when women try to like when they already dealing with a man and they try to get to like they're trying to talk to a new man, they
Yeah.
make the new man do more than the man that they with. Like,
Oh, for sure. For
like,
sure.
bro, you
Somebody
telling me that,
slack.
bro, you telling me that he's literally going full cheeks in, and you trying to get to somebody new for a reason. You talking to me for a reason because this dude is not doing what he's supposed to do. So now you telling me the first night I can't sleep with you, but I gotta do all these other things, take you out, do this, do that, show you that I want to be with you, for you to finally like. That's why I don't like the whole. I don't really matter. It doesn't to me. Sex is not important in terms of like if I get on the first night. If I get on the first night, it's a plus for me. But it's not really what I'm looking for. Because guess what? At the end of the day, what men, it's the point that we need a woman to hold us down. Yeah,
Mhm.
sex is great and all, but it in terms is like if that's all she got to offer, then I'm just good. If that's all you offering, I can't just nah.
So,
Like
so what you saying is, you feel like a lot of women now are weaponizing their DJs.
yeah, yeah, because you got to already see it. Like okay, for example, just
Say
like
it with your chest, Jordan.
I,
Say
to,
it with your
I think
chest.
I told y'all this a couple like a week or two ago.
Yeah.
Women. If Soco fam, if y'all don't know, men for the men out there, women are more freakier than men, but they don't display it like we do. See, we when we trying to get right with a girl, if you completely honest with a girl, you like guys will lead on. They'll do weird stuff or like, for example, if a guy talking to a girl or he texting her and she say I'm about to take a shower, he gonna be like, what? Some guys be like, without me, like you know what I'm saying? Now that's creepy at sometimes. You know what I'm saying? But guys already like some guys already like going to the situation. They being honest.
Bold.
They already being honest. They're bold about it. Women are not bold about it because like they're not gonna tell you. You're not gonna know their approach to when you get in the bedroom with them. You feel what I'm saying? So when you
Right.
get in leverage, you know you're dealing with a pro. You get what I'm saying? Or you know you're dealing with a freak. So women are just more freaky as they just hide it. But now what's happening is you have female rappers that are you got to remember like 90s R&B or 90s rap when they were rapping about getting intimate. There was a certain type of like in terms it was like foreplay. They leading you into it, but they're not saying exactly what it is.
Right.
Mhm.
Now it's it's all right. I'm about to
Pound Town.
Yeah.
exactly. You already
There's a
know
lot
what it
of
is.
great
You
energy.
already know the WAP. You already know Megan. You
Mhm.
already know Cardi B. You already know what they talking about.
What else? Ice Spice.
Exactly. You
Yeah.
you already know what they talking about now.
Your
So
lunch.
women are following that. Like I said, most women already go to when they go into a situation to talk to a man, especially a man that they want. What they gonna do? If she's not educated well, she gonna do something that if she's not educated well, but she got the body, she gonna go with the body. She gonna go with the looks. All right,
Right.
let me turn around one time. Let me do a 360 one time. Or let me go up to him and try to, you know, try to feel on him.
Mm.
Something.
So you think that women are taking the easier way out to gain their funds rather than working hard like the rest of the world?
Not all
Yeah,
women. I'm not
yeah, I
gonna
was about to
say
say
I'm not
some.
gonna say all
Some.
women do that. Some women do that. Like you gotta think about it. We're in a different time. Like monetization is at an all-time high. You are your own business. Yourself is you are your own business. So the fact that now that women can display their body in certain ways, you have the OnlyFans and certain things like that. I don't have a problem for girls that don't like that girls that partake in that. That's your decision. I don't like. I can't really do anything about that. That's her decision, her body, whatever choice she made. But at the same time, it's like they're smart. You know what I'm saying? And men, just like DG said, for example, if a girl's attractive, she gonna have the 10K followers, but the
Mhm.
guy's gonna have 900. So who are men looking for more? The women, because women are, unless a man has like unless you gotta you play sports or your body is like a six-pack, you work out, you got big triceps, biceps, um lats. Like women are already not looking at men unless you like shirtless all the time.
Right.
But then even if men do it, because you got to think about it, we don't have that much stuff we could show off. You get what I'm saying? Because you can't go to a certain point, you're gonna get called a pervert. You feel what I'm saying? You gonna get listen, you're gonna get called a pervert. You go to a certain point. Women can post thirst traps. Men can't really do thirst traps like that.
You know, it's considered inappropriate.
Exactly. So you already know where it's going.
Yeah, when
And
guys do that, like take pictures with their shirt off on the internet. I just be like, okay, but at some point it's like I don't know. It's either you one extreme or the other next. Either you got to be like big X the plug big, or you got to be in shape. So I don't know. There ain't no in between now these days.
Yeah.
With the transition, how many times have you cheated on your barber?
Ooh, can I go first?
Yeah, go ahead.
All right, so I've been on this earth for 28 years now. That had been 28 years. I cheated on my barber twice. All right,
Damn.
twice. No, the first time this was why?
I said
All
you're
right.
loyal guy.
Yeah. So like for me, it was like a whole transition. You know, this new barber I had refer him to Jordan, but the barber I had before that, he was a nice Haitian guy, and I known him since when I was a teenager type shit. Just the haircuts wasn't given. You feel me? It wasn't standing out. It was not standing out like it used to anymore. And I just got to a point. I got to a point. I said, "Man, fuck this shit, bro. Let me go to my guy." And how I ended up finding my guy was at a brunch, and he was telling me that he does haircuts now. So as a homie, I decided to show him some support. Ever since then, he blessed me. Blessed me.
Mm-hmm.
You heard her in the background?
I mean, yeah. I mean, let me pitch off of that. So like you said, sometimes when you get that new barber, the one that's trying to come up,
Yeah,
he needed you at that moment, bro. Yeah, he was down bad. He needed clients, so he willing to get you right, crisp.
yes.
So that first haircut, you getting the fresh him. You're not getting the seasoned 10-year barber. Sometimes with the 10-year barber, they get a lot of clientele, but they get so much clientele to the point where they're not doing your shit correctly.
Right.
Compared to a new person, he probably getting one cut a week. So that one cut, he trying to make sure that crisp, so people could hit him up consistently. Like, damn, who cut your hair? Oh yeah, that my dog. Like he cut hair down the road. You could hit him up. So I definitely have cheated on my barber multiple times. But it's not my fault. You move around a lot. Unless I want to waste gas to go to the same barber that I used to go to all the time, then it'll be a different situation. But sometimes you have no choice. You could be in a different city. You gotta go to a barber in that location because you're not home. Some people, they don't trust a lot of people with their hair. Me, I trust a few people with my hair because I don't look that bad after the haircut.
Right.
I never really complain. Just as long as you don't make my hairline go way back, then we good. But I don't think it's a bad thing. Sometimes life gives you circumstances as to where you have to change barbers.
Yeah.
Maybe they charging $100 for a haircut now. Like I said, maybe you moved. Another reason could be because he been cutting hair for 10 years. He watered down. He washed.
Yep.
But go ahead, JP.
How you feel about this for all of y'all? How y'all feel about the barbers who put all the chalk outlining on everything and then they using all the enhancements and shit like that?
My barber does that. The one in Miami. So I have two barbers, by the way. So I have one here in ATL.
Okay.
Yeah, and one down in Miami. The one in Miami, he does that. Do I feel a difference? Not so much, but I do feel relaxed. I don't know. It's like it's very soothing. I'm not gonna lie to you. It
That the whole outlining?
Yeah.
Okay.
I just guess he's just trying to perfect his craft. You feel me? That's just how I view it. What y'all boys think?
How long does the chalk last? Like,
I mean,
1 day.
Yeah, for a day.
Okay.
I think they use it as like a liner.
Yeah.
To make sure that they get the haircut correctly. So they have their reasons in regards to some of the enhancements, but hey, y'all keep on playing with that chalk and y'all complaining about the prices going up. That's the reason why they doing all that other shit now.
Bro.
Back in the day, you just get your haircut, you leave. Now they
Mhm.
doing they blowing
Everything.
you. They
Right.
doing everything, the whole nine. You're not even asking for it. They doing the whole nine now. And y'all, oh wow, thank you. And
They
y'all
got the
wondering
ring
why the
light
price is
now.
going up.
They got
It's
the
a-
ring light.
Right, it's an extra. Let's say they got the ring light, right? That's an extra $20 right there. Then you got the little spray bottle with the alcohol. It just got a little light at the end.
Yeah.
It give like a
Sensational.
oh yeah, nah, that's an extra $10 right there.
Mhm.
Then they charging you extra for the lineup, and then not to count the fade that they're gonna give you
Hell
with
yeah.
the enhancements with the chalk. So now that's you up to damn near $50, and then they want you to give them a tip.
That's what I'm saying, bro.
I
Bruh.
blame COVID. I'm not gonna lie to you, boys. I blame COVID for this shit. Because back prior to COVID, haircuts were dirt cheap. I remember, like for me, most I paid for a haircut was like $20. Now, ever since when COVID, for some reason, all these, influence barbers, they're charging $150 for tapes. I'm hearing like, $300 for haircuts is like the new norm now. I'm like, bro, COVID really kind of fucked up the game. So it's to the point where like these barbers like shit. If that barber could raise his prices, let me raise my prices too. And which is not right. Which is not right.
Most
Especially
of the newer barbers are doing that.
It's a competitive market out here, man.
Mhm.
Very competitive. Now they got these apps where you got to book appointments days in advance.
yeah. Yeah, back then I would call me like, yo.
Like a female, man.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm on my way.
Yeah, I'm on my way. Now just like, nah, man, you got booked, you got booked to the app. What you mean I got booked to the app? Like, why I can't call you to be like, yo, how many people you have? And you just let me know from there? Shit.
And
Now they got the little card thing where you swipe your card through.
mhm.
It's an extra $3 to $4.
Mhm.
Yeah,
And
boys lying. Them boys go with
A
cards
little,
now?
they pop the card little thing on the back of their phone like this,
Yeah,
and then you swipe the card.
yeah.
I don't do that. See, if I go to, I've never been to a barber like that. But if I had to, nah, I'm paying cash.
Straight
Cash.
cash.
I'm not putting my phone. I'm not linking my phone to the back of nobody. I'm
They
not
send you
linking
a
my card to
receipt
the
and
back of nobody's phone. Mm-mm.
They send you a receipt and everything from via text, via email, or
Mm-mm.
they got the little tap. They got the little tap to pay thing.
Mhm.
Yeah, man, it's getting crazy out here. I remember I was in the middle of nowhere in Texas. It's called I was in Midland, Texas, right?
Mhm.
Middle of nowhere. But since I was the oil field, everything there was expensive, bro. It was like New York prices with no New York.
Wow.
Downtown, I could walk through downtown in 5 minutes, bro. No bullshit. One side, bro, it's like 3 streets that's considered downtown Midland. And
Wow.
bro, I went to the barbershop one time, and when Buddy said that'd be 50 something, he's like that'd be $54.99. I'm like, bro, it was nothing major that I needed. It's just you go for a taper or whatever the hell you go for, and they gonna give you some New York prices over there, bro.
And the beard make more money, bro. When you got a beard, that thing make it more money.
Right.
Well, you got more hair? All right, bet. I'm gonna wax you. I'm gonna
Yep.
wax you.
Right. Sometimes you let's say you tell them don't touch the beard, right?
Mhm.
They still touch it.
They're still, bro.
So
That should be getting me. If you want to get me mad, do that right there. I'm gonna snap. I'm gonna snap.
So I said, yeah, boys. On a serious note, how much is a haircut is supposed to cost?
Don't ask me because prices vary based off
So
experience.
for me, like,
yeah, for you, yes.
because I have a beard, I'll say between 40 to 50.
Okay.
Because of the beard.
Max.
Now, mind you, I don't mind. Like, I always tip my barber like at least 10 to 15%.
Right.
So I don't mind doing the tip part, but it's the part when a barber go $100 starting as a haircut, bro. What?
What?
Like,
You better come to my crib and cut my hair if you.
exactly. Now, if you're doing that, they're doing a house call where they have to spend. That's their. I'm pretty sure they're probably including gas into all of that. But like, if you come into somebody's crib, I can see the reason for that because you got to set up your own equipment, all of that.
Right.
But you tell me for me to drive to you, where I'm not being compensated to drive to you, and you tell me $100, bro. A tape is not even $10 to $15 no more.
Bro,
Check
that's what I say. COVID fucked up the game
Bro,
badly, bro.
a take for me right now is like $30-$40.
Check this out though. You paying for the conversation too. You paying for the
That's where y'all messing up. Y'all can't have those conversations. Once your barber know that you got the bag, that's when you're gonna get waxed. So I don't try to have no conversations with my barber. Just come in, hey, let me get my haircut. When I get my haircut, I want to talk to my barber. That's when you're gonna ask about, oh, how's life, man? This and that. Oh man, I got this business going on. We're making $100K a month. Oh, really? Oh, okay.
All right, bet.
Oh, word.
That's the new scam right there.
Mm-hmm.
It is, but next week you come back for a haircut 2 weeks later. Oh man, price went up, bro. what you mean? It was just $50 2 weeks ago. Nah, this week, something had happened. He could be lying at the same time. He could have charged the next person $50, but you just knew about your situation 2 weeks ago. Now he's charging you $100. So,
yeah, no.
And it's hard to find a new barber, so it's like you're gonna have to pay that $100.
Yeah, take it or leave it, bro. You got a bag. Now we want our bag too. If you're not gonna give us the bag, you go somewhere else.
Hey man, big shout out to my barber Luke, man. If you guys in the North Miami or North Miami Beach area, go to my boy. He will get you right. That's all I have to say. DB cuts.
Damn, no endorsement for the other barber.
Yeah. That one doesn't have no social media. No.
Oh, you grimy, yo. You grimy.
No, that one doesn't have no social media. She's like, she's a local. So
You gonna throw a name out there, man.
Okay.
Yeah, fam, you just said that you got two barbers.
Yeah, exactly.
He only put one out there.
Exactly, bro.
That's like shade, bro.
Yeah, bro, you grits, man. You
Yeah,
grits.
bro.
Now you next time we see you next week, bro. Yeah.
He might charge you more, a little bit more. You might come.
Melo gonna come back next week with a hat on.
Yeah,
My
boys,
goodness.
the barber didn't get me right this time.
Oops, my hand slipped. And no
Oh,
endorsement,
bad, bro.
Yeah. That's like you gave your therapist a good endorsement the other day. Shout out Dr. McCullough. When it comes to the barber, just the one in Miami.
Bro.
Man.
He still ain't said that.
You know what? I'm still trying to wait for it.
Oh,
Yeah.
what was about my ass though?
Oh man.
I waited for the endorsement to come. He's still like,
Hey man,
man.
if you guys in the Stonecrest, Latonia area, man, y'all boys come check my barber out. Her name is Dread. She's off Mall Parkway, okay, near Stonecrest Mall. Check her out, man. She's gonna get y'all boys right for a reasonable price. Happy y'all boys.
I see that time, right?
Yeah.
I see this, boy. Her price is going up.
Yeah.
All right, bet.
Yeah, that concludes today's episode, man. Today was a good one. Episode 13, right?
Yes, sir.
Sure you like, you comment, and you subscribe. And also, check out DG's channel. He has a channel called DG Alive Entertainment. He on it pretty much every day. It seems like I feel like he's controlling the algorithms right now. But I got him notified. So make sure y'all notify put him on y'all noties, and same with us, y'all.
Till next time.
Till next time.
Peace.
You are now watching Soca Vibez Sports Podcast.